Breaking news, Falcons fans. Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. Something we've been talking about for a long time here on the channel. And it's finally come to fruition. The Atlanta Falcons are expected to tag Kyle Pitts, the franchise tag, that is. Ian Rappaport coming in first with the news saying that the Falcons are expected to tag standout tight end Kyle Pitts, keeping their playmaker on a one-year, $15.8 million deal. Now the goal, and this is very important here, that the Falcons and Pitts are at the understanding right now that they're trying to work on a longer-term deal, but if they cannot, they have until July to do so before the tag actually kicks in. Now, remember, we've been on this for 3 months. So if you don't trust it straight from the moose's mouth, this is exactly why you subscribe, my friends. Every Falcons move, whether I called it, whether I didn't call it, and let's be honest, more often than not, I don't call it. But every single Falcons move that's ever made, we cover right here on the channel. So lock us in and hit that subscribe button. First things first, this is a very smart move for the Dirty Birds. Might not be the most ideal for Kyle Pitts, and I'll explain about the ins and outs of this entire thing coming up in this episode. But this is very, very smart if you are a Falcons fan in terms of the overall health of the Falcons. Ian Cunningham, Matt Ryan making a very, very smart decision because now they buy themselves time to work out a longer deal if they so choose to, or the tag and trade. So in the event that they do some negotiating, right? They say, hey, here's our number, here's what we value you at, and he's like, get out of here, we're not doing any of that. Then the Falcons could make it available or make Kyle Pitts available for a trade. And I know there are plenty of teams, we've listed them on this channel countless times, that would absolutely trade for Kyle Pitts and send you probably a third-round pick. So I've been on the Falcons franchise tagging Pitts since basically the end of November. I mean, you saw the career trajectory, you saw the season trajectory, and you were like, there's moments where Kyle Pitts is outstanding. And then there's moments where he just kind of like floats in and out. There was never really that defining moment where you were like, Kyle Pitts is going to get paid. It was more so like, give us another season. Give us a little bit more time. It was always just that little extra. It was never enough to be like, we're moving off Kyle. But it was never quite enough to be like, yep, sign him to another 3 or 4 year extension. It just felt like even the ending statistics and all, with 900 yards, 10.5 average, 5 touchdowns, it just never felt like Pitts captured that exact moment where he was going to get that huge extension that every player wants. But with that being said, he had a career high in catches, second highest of his career in yards, and a career high in touchdowns. I would like to see these numbers. The receptions I'm very okay with. I'd like to see the yards go up just a tad, and this is the most important one right here. You got to find the end zone more. If you want to be a $16 million a year player, if you want to be a $13 or $14 million a year player, if you want to be an overall higher paid player at your position, especially on the offensive side of the ball, you've got to score. This also gives the Falcons the upper hand, like I was telling you. This allows Ian Cunningham and Matt Ryan a little bit of time to breathe. Because when you franchise tag a player, it gives all this extra time, all these months leading up to July, time to sit down in the front office with Pitts and his agent and work out a deal. And also, if it doesn't come to fruition, then Pitts does get a year-long, nice little healthy payday, $15.8 million a year, or right around there. The tag number hasn't been finalized yet. It also, like I told you, opens opportunities for a tag and trade. So in the event that they can't work out a number, the New England Patriots call up, they say, hey, we want Kyle Pitts. And you say, great, it's a third-round pick. And they say, here you go. And then, boom, you've got more draft capital. But it also opens the door, in my opinion, for a new quarterback. And not by drafting a quarterback, not by trading for a quarterback. It opens the door for what I will call the guaranteed veteran option. We'll touch on that all in just a little bit here. But in case you were wondering where the financials come out to with Kyle Pitts, this will move him comfortably into 5th place behind TJ Hawkinson at 16.5 if the number is at 15.8. That would be higher than David Njoku. That would make Kyle Pitts the 5th highest paid tight end on the list. And again, like I told you, I'm fine with top 5 money, but you've got to give me top 5 productivity. You got to find the end zone more, my friend. That is the big thing. I would make the number 8, the target 8 touchdowns in the 26 season. And here are the projected tag numbers. Like I said, they're not finalized yet. Quarterback sitting at 47 mil. Wide receivers pretty hefty as well at 28. But that tight end number that you're looking for is right around 16. And like I told you, 15.8, 16.2. They're kind of projecting it right at 16. But ultimately, what's going to end up happening is Kyle's going to say, I want more than $15 million a year, or right at $15 million a year for a multiple year deal, like $15 million a year for the next 4 years. Well, the problem with that is that that's a lot of money up front, and that's a lot of money on a contract for a player that hasn't quite lived up to the draft expectations yet. So if you were to grade this move by Ian Cunningham and Matt Ryan, what grade would you give it? I would give it an A. I think it's a great move. I think it's a very, very good start to the regime known as Matty Ice and Ian Cunningham side by side. Now, like I told you, this opens up the door for a new quarterback. And apologies for my voice today. I'm kind of fighting something still, so my voice tends to trail off a little bit. The Falcons' quarterback plan has now been revealed, at least to me. And I'll explain what I mean right after I tell you about our friends over at Harry's. Every single day I'm using Harry's for my personal grooming essentials. And listen to me, my friends, if you need the very best products for your personal grooming habits, you got to do it with our friends over at Harry's. If your old razor dulled way too quickly, irritated your neck, if it costs way too much, $30 for a refill, total scam. You can get that for a fraction of the cost with Harry's. Harry's Plus is Harry's heaviest razor handle ever. Made from metal, never plastic, designed to fit comfortably in your hand, and that heavier handle means more control and a luxe feel. But they don't just make razors. They've got a full line of grooming essentials from shave gel to deodorant to body wash, all thoughtfully made and priced up to stock. All of Harry's blades, by the way, and grooming products can be delivered right to your door. So set your preferred schedule and never run out of blades again. For a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer, and after you purchase, they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about us? Please support our show, and let them know that Moose from Falcons Today sent you. One thing to me is certain. Penix and Pitts were not on the same page last year. And trust me, all of this bleeds into the quarterback solution. So Penix obviously found more of a rapport with Drake London. You can't deny it. Pitts was the second or sometimes even the third option for Michael Penix Jr., as evidenced by the statistics. Pitts with Penix. Here are the isolated stats when Pitts and Penix were playing together this last year. 47 receptions for 434 yards, averaging 9.2 yards per catch and only 1 touchdown. Pedestrian numbers. So what does this mean if you're a Falcons fan and you're like, well, where does the new quarterback come in? This almost guarantees to me that the Falcons are going to add a veteran quarterback in free agency. And the reason I say that is because who's the quarterback that most recently worked with Pitts that really took his game and just kind of put it and exploded it onto the map? Kirk Cousins. And the 2 veteran options, you could still bring back Kirk, technically speaking, if he explores free agency and doesn't really like any of his options. Or somebody that's worked with Kevin Stefanski, somebody that has been mocked to the Falcons in free agency by multiple sources, Mr. Joe Flacco. Now, we know that Kirk Cousins is most likely going to find himself a new team. I firmly believe that, especially if Joe Flacco finds a new team. But Flacco is a much cheaper and kind of a, I would say, 85% version of Kirk Cousins right now. Both can't really move. Both are just kind of living out their last glory days as NFL quarterbacks. And Joe Flacco's still slinging it, guys. Look at last year with the Browns and the Bengals. I mean, these numbers aren't great. Combined completion percentage is right around 60. right? Threw for a little over 2,400 yards, 15 total touchdowns, 10 picks. I'm not saying that Joe Flacco is a great quarterback option for the Falcons, but in the event you wanted to get someone who was a much cheaper option. And by the way, look at their passer ratings. When you get a competent offensive style of quarterback or offensive style of head coach in Zach Taylor, like he was with the Bengals, Flacco absolutely destroyed what his passer rating was in Cleveland. Pitts also flourished with Kirk in a more traditional under-center quarterback style. Again, we know that Penix is probably going to shift towards that, but we still don't know, according to Matt Ryan, according to Ian Cunningham, according to all Falcons media outlets, we don't know if Penix is going to be ready week 1. So I think Ryan looks at it and goes, let's get someone who's cheaper than Kirk that can still give us Kirk's style of productivity. That's Joe Flacco. Have him start week 1. Can he go out and win games until Penix is ready to help us? I think the answer is absolutely. So your potential quarterback room could look like this next year. Penix, Flacco, Stick. Now, Stick would end up being delegated back to the practice squad where he spent most of the 2025 season. So you'd roll with 2 guys, Flacco and Penix. And if Penix isn't ready to go week 1, you've got someone who understands Kevin Stefanski's system already and has even higher upgraded weapons, right? Like, look what Flacco did with Jamar Chase. He's got Drake London. Look what Flacco was able to do. They didn't really have a run game in Cincinnati, but now he's got Bijan. So there's plenty of moves, and now you add Kyle Pitts back onto it in the event that the Falcons end up keeping him, and there you go. Everything just comes full circle. So you make the call. Who will start for the Falcons week 1 of the 26th season? I'm still under the impression that it's going to be Michael Penix Jr., but setbacks happen all the time with injuries. So in the event that Penix is not ready to go, I'm going to say it's Flacco. Those are going to be my 2 options. Like I said, if in case you made it to the very end of the video, I don't know how you made it this far without knowing what the video is actually about, but Kyle Pitts being franchise tagged or expected to be franchise tagged by the Dirty Birds, currently estimated around $15.8 million for the 26th season. The 2 sides are going to try and work out a longer deal. According to Ian Rappaport, they have until July to do so. That's all I got for you. I'll be back a little bit later on with more news and rumors surrounding your Dirty Birds. First real move of the offseason has officially happened. Rise up and be cool.